Oh, Poncho. I remember a time when you was 5 years old growing up and stuff, man. And then years later, you're 22, 17 years later, man, you have grown up to a wild, good man. Well, thank you, DJ Blazing. Thank you, man. That really means a lot to me, especially with a producer and stuff like you who's going worldwide. I mean, you have to grow up and stuff at a certain time. So, I mean, I think I've done good for myself. Yes, man. Yes, you sure have. But let's talk about the reactions from ATM Talks Trash about Upike. Tell me a little bit about that, Poncho, and how that came about. Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't actually my idea to do that. It was the board of directors' idea, basically. Like, they called me up, told me to come to their office and meet with them. And so I'm walking upstairs to their office, and then they were saying, okay, we're gonna have ATM come and talk a whole lot of trash about you, and just talking down right dirty and stuff about you, and da 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 da, and this is what's gonna happen and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that, because at that time, like they was trying to pump me up. They was working on actually somebody else rather. They was trying to get them to be a star and such, and then they was working on me in the process. I didn't know that, so I'm walking in, got my script and got everything written out, what I'm gonna say and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some fun with this and see. I'm gonna have some feedback on this and have some fun with this. So not only did I talk trash about myself, because mainly that was the main topic was ATM talks trash about Poncho, but I decided to ATM. I let we're both the same person basically. Like it's just different egos and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have some fun with this. So I'm gonna take the closest people that I know at Upike and just downright talk about them and stuff. I mean, they know that I'm gonna be messing around and stuff. So I get my script and stuff, and I rewrite everything, and then all of a sudden we on the air and stuff, and I'm like, finally ATM has come back and whatnot, and then something about well, the thing that I love about Parkville is that in a few minutes I'll be leaving Parkville. So I'm walking, no, I'm actually sitting down doing this promo stuff rather, and just start completely talking trash about some of my roommates, like mainly Austin Loudon at the most, because he was messing with me and stuff. Me and him's good friends, we close and stuff. I love that brother to death. I was talking about him, Trinity, Sonny, and Don, of course, which Don, shouts to you, man, for getting saved and getting baptized, man. That means a lot to me and another soul in Christ. And so I'm talking trash about them, and then I just said a little bit of things about EDV7. Talk trash about Nicole Howley. His Brandon in the cafeteria, he walked up to Nicole and he was like, man, he talked a lot of trash about you. And I'm like, she looked back at me and kind of smiles and stuff. And she already knows what's up. And so I apologized to her a few months after that. She was like, you cool. Everything's cool. And so I'm talking trash about like just downgrading everybody. And then the coaches, Coach Wells and Coach Yoda Ross, and I'm like, how can y'all be coaches with Coach Casey? And I don't see how Coach Casey does hang with y'all and stuff. And you know me, I don't mean really what I say. And then I talked about KJ and Makari and KK, and like the promo was rated like the best promo in November. Like it was rated sky high. Like everybody was owning stuff. Well, then a couple months later, like KK has a little sissy fit and stuff about, man, don't be talking trash about me, dog. What's wrong with you? Keep my name out your mouth. Like, stop tagging me off of these AE videos. And I'm like, KK, above you of all people should know that I just play around and mess around and stuff. And then I apologize to McCarty and KJ. They was like, man, you cool stuff. Well, I was told that I had to come to the basketball basketball coach's office. And Coach Yoder and Ross, they was reviewing like my paperwork and stuff for postseason basketball. And like He was asking me what was my goals and stuff, and how I was going to come back and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I knew it was going to happen because KK was in there before me. And so KK was like, "Man, stop talking about me. Quit putting me into your videos, homie." And Coach Yoder and Coach Ross, they was Coach Yoder rather, just had his arms folded up basically. And Coach Ross, he was cool and stuff. He's just smiling and grinning and stuff. Coach Yoder was like, "Okay, there's one more thing that I got to do before we let you go." Here comes the video clip. And all of a sudden, they reviewed and stuff, and Coach Ross is like, "What you feel about this and stuff, basically?" And then I just told him, explained to him, and he was like, Coach Yoder was like, "Well, you need to apologize to KK and Coach Wells and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." And I'm like, "I apologize to you all as well." He was like, "Can you get it in writing and stuff?" I'm like, "I'll do better than that." Since we all was at the library and stuff doing homework that night, I figured I'd go to the library and do all that and apologize to him. And he was like, "Man, I'm a grow A man. You cool and stuff, man." And I knew KK knew that I was just messing around and stuff. But then, like, after I get out of the meeting with the coaches, it wasn't a couple minutes, the board of directors jumps my tail and like, "Come up here to our office now." And I'm like, "Okay." And they was like, "What in the F do you think you're doing? What the H was that?" And I'm like, "Guys, you told me to talk trash and stuff. I mean, so if I'm going to go out and style, at least let me have the liberty to write my own promos and stuff." And they was like, "We don't care what you do with your promos and stuff. You do what we say." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm trying to avoid the situation and stuff. Just had my head back turned and stuff." Hey, man, I'm just going to tell you, Poncho, you had some guts, man, doing that promo stuff. Well, DJ Blazing, it's pretty wild. So, they ordered me to apologize to all the Upike Nation, to everybody. And they was like, "If you don't, then there'll be serious consequences, like your basketball career and school education." And I'm like, "We don't need to go there." So, about a week later, I do apology video stuff, apologizing to everybody. And ever since then, like, more people's been on me, and they've respected me because what I do and stuff, basically. And let me tell you another story before we leave. Like, I was getting ready to go. No, we was getting, as football players and me, getting ready to go to a meeting or whatever. And then Trinity, like Trinity, LA, and Mike, I love those guys. They're cool. And so I'm like in the room and stuff, and Trinity comes in. He's like, "Poncho, just my man I wanted to see." And I'm like, Trinity. And he was like, "Man, let me ask you something. You was in this room talking trash about everybody. Why would you do something like that? You know Don and Sonny, they your homeboys and stuff. They are members of the football team." And he's like jumping, and I'm like, "Man, it's just me doing what? It's just me doing storylines and stuff." And Trinity was like, "Your mind was just messed up, basically." And he's like, "Man, don't be making fun of my accent. I love my accent." And he's like, "Man, you should have came to me first before you talk trash about me, at least." And so we just, we've been cool. We've definitely been cool on that, though, because Trinity, that's one thing I respect about him, is that he will tell you straight up, face to face, what he thinks. And I respect that of Trinity. So, I mean, it's one of the best promos of all time for me, but that I had to get rid of because the board, not only did the coaches want me to get rid of it, Coach Yoder especially, but the board of directors wanted me to get rid of it. So I'm like, it's going to cost me some money, but I got to get rid of it.